to build on the idea of member-wise assignment, remember where we have taken two instances of a class, and what we have done is we have assigned the values of the variables from the square, I think it was rectangle 1 to rectangle 2. So what we have done is we have taken the members of the first instance and assigned them to the members of the second instance. But do remember that because of the limitation of what we would do with pointers, that is an imperfect way to think about that sort of assignment. Perhaps better is to use the copy constructor. Now, just a throwback reminder to what it is that indicates to the runtime environment that, oh, this is a copy constructor as opposed to a default constructor or anything else. We are passing as an argument an object over. So when we declare our copy constructor, one of the important considerations there is it has to be able to receive an object. So that is part of the wrinkle that we have. So let's just go take a look at test scores, student test scores, and we'll take a look at our copy constructor. The rest of everything else that is happening in here, you've already seen largely. We have private and we have public member variables and public and private member functions. You have seen this already. Here we are not using a friend or anything else, so this is pretty straightforward. The new wrinkle here is what you see here from lines 29 to 36 in the copy constructor. You'll notice that we have the and object here. It is receiving an object as an argument. So what we have to do here is we are going to take the individual member variables and we are going to assign them from the received object to the receiving object. So that is what we are doing here. We are assigning the object's student name to this current object's student name. We are getting test scores and assigning it to this object's test scores. We are getting the actual or the number of test scores, rather, my mistake. This is number of test scores. Then what we are going to do is we are going to iterate through the array based on number of test scores, and we are going to assign the values of those elements of the array to test scores. Notice again, I kept using the next video's big keyword there, this object, this object. We can actually use this as a keyword because C++ is going to know what object it is referring to by the keyword this. However, that's not particularly right here. So if we go back to main.cpp and we give this a run, what you're going to see is what happens when we do in fact use that copy constructor. What we have done here in lines 14 through 18 is we have created an instance of the student object, Kelly Thornton, right there. And we have given Kelly some default test scores. So 100 goes in element 0, 95 element 1, 80 element 2. And what we have done here is created two additional students. But you'll notice that when we declare our student, so here's student test scores, student 2. So student 2 is an object of student test scores class. We are in fact saying equals student 1. This is invoking our copy constructor because we are passing as an argument an object there. So then what our copy constructor does is takes the various elements from within our passed student object and assigns it to our receiving student object's member variables. So once we display all of this, so I just have this really quick and dirty display function down here. I didn't feel like breaking it off into a separate file. I get lazy occasionally. You'll see we have in all three student cases, Kelly Thornton, and Kelly Thornton. Our copy constructor there functioned correctly.